This came from one of my antique store purchases, so now I want to share it with you, right? Look at that! It's got the clown coming through. And our superheroes of the day, ladies and gentlemen, ready for this book. Here we go. Station Whiz is sponsoring a circus to raise money for a new hospital, said Mr. Morris, the station manager. Let's start that over again. Station Whiz is sponsoring a circus to raise money for a new hospital, said Mr. Morris, the station manager, to Billy Batson one morning. I want you to go out to the park and do an on-the-spot report. Here we go. Billy hurried off. When he reached the park, he found a large crowd waiting anxiously for the circus train to arrive. His sister, Mary Batson, I think that's her, was there with their wealthy stepmother, who planned to make a large donation to the hospital fund. I love a circus, said Mrs. Bromfield. Me too, said Mary, but where is the train? The tent should be up by now. Where is the train? It was indeed time for the circus to start. People were checking their wristwatches and staring impatiently down the railroad track, where the train should have appeared long ago. Some of the smaller children had begun to cry. Oh, you can see the little tear on her face. Mary hurried to her brother's side. Everyone's disappointed. Isn't there something we can do? If there's no circus, Billy said, there won't be any money for the hospital. We'd better do something, even if we have to put on a circus ourselves. And so that was what they did. Boom! Shazam! Together, Billy and Mary spoke the magic word that transforms them into the world's mightiest mortals, Captain Marvel and Mary Marvel. Look, they even had new hairdos. That's some mighty, mighty words. Okay, on with the circus. One circus coming right up, they shouted. The crowd stared in astonishment, and then everyone cheered. The people formed a huge circle, watching as Mary Marvel did a graceful riding act with two frisky horses borrowed from a nearby farm. Look at her. Shazam! Oh, check it out. While she was performing, Captain Marvel borrowed 3 ferocious lions from the city zoo. Then he put the big cats through an amazing wild animal act, persuading them to do tricks no lion had ever done before. The crowd goes wild. Oh. Look at those are some serious lions, huh? My gosh, they kind of look a little older. You know, they look like baby lions. Go, Captain Marvel. Next, Captain Marvel and Mary leaped into the air and gave a breathtaking trapeze performance, complete with loops and spins and somersaults, but without trapezes. So they did this without anybody, no nets or ropes or anything. They just flew through the air. Look at the people, the little people on the ground. They do so graceful. That must be part of their superpowers. Okay. Now what? Uh-oh. Mary asked Captain Marvel as they bowed to the crowd. We're running out of tricks and there's still no sign of the circus train. Just then a taxi pulled up and out jumped a man in a purple coat and a tall silk hat. Check that out. Okay. Side note for my sisters, doesn't that remind you of the, oh gosh, what's his face? The yat-ta-chat-ta-chat-chat-ta-chat. Okay, on with the story. Look at that Sweet hat. Okay, the circus train has broken down 50 miles south of town, he explained. I'm the ringmaster, and I've come to tell everyone how sorry I am that there will not be a circus today. There can be if we help, Mary exclaimed. Don't go away, folks, shouted Captain Marvel. We'll be right back with the rest of the circus. Off they flew to find the circus train. Ah, there it is! Captain Marvel picked up the engine and Mary Marvel picked up the caboose. The whole train was stretched between them. Who needs tracks? Asked Captain Marvel. You see him? Where is he? Where's Captain? There's some giraffes. There it is, folks, saving the day. Can't even tell if there's somebody inside leading it. There's the circus, and there's his sister picking up the caboose. Mary picked up the caboose. The whole train was stretched between them. Who needs tracks? This train is going to fly. And away they went, balancing the train over their heads. They flew over the city, carrying the circus train toward the park. On the streets below, hundreds of people pointed skyward and stared at the flying train. It's heading for the park, someone shouted. All over town, people left stores and shops and offices to follow the flying circus train. A half hour later, with the help of Captain Marvel and Mary, the circus train was unloaded and the tents were up. The crowd cheered as the elephants and acrobats and jugglers and clowns paraded. Oops, clowns, not crowds. I'm sure the crowds were pretty excited too. You know, said Captain Marvel, chuckling, there's one thing I've always wanted to try, he whispered in the ringmaster's ear. Of course you may, said the ringmaster. Captain Marvel and the ringmaster. Look at the elephant with Mary on it. Look at that guy balancing on top of his legs. Sweet. And so, when the clown act began, there was one extra clown, Captain Marvel. Splat went a pie. Splash went a bucket of water. Everyone laughed and cheered. Even the world's mightiest mortal likes to clown around once in a while, Captain Marvel said with a big grin. There he is. Captain Marvel. Getting wet. Wet for a good cause. Ice bucket challenge there, folks. Back in the 1970s. Okay. Later, when the last acrobat had swung through the air and the last elephant had marched out of the big tent, Captain Marvel and Mary stood at the entrance to collect donations for the new hospital. The circus crowd agreed that it had been the most exciting afternoon they could remember. Here they are, collecting money for the hospital. I'm looking schmossing in their fancy superhero outfits. The end. Well, thanks for all your help, Captain Marvel and Mary, said the ringmaster. If you ever want jobs with the circus, just let me know. We'd be happy to have the world's mightiest mortals in the show. The end. Thanks. It's gone well. It's gone good. Gone good, good, good. Too far. Too far. Oh gosh. Okay. Closer, closer, closer. Nephews, nieces, pull up a rug, grab your kitchen chair, come sit down for a second. We're going to read a book.